Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, people of Earth. Welcome to the fucking news with me, Deke Jackson, on the blah-de-blah-de-blah middle of time. What the fuck? How you doing? Did anybody else notice? I know they slipped it out quietly. It's not actually anywhere in the newspaper that I bought today. In America, the FBI said that COVID origin was most likely the Wuhan laboratory. I know. Shouldn't the FBI be banned from YouTube? Shouldn't they be cancelled? Do you think when the BBC reported that, I could look at the story on the BBC on my phone, but I'm using it at the moment. When the BBC reported that, do you think the BBC themselves put that little rectangle underneath saying, COVID, blah, de blah, de blah, the World Health Organization, de blah, de blah, de blah. So the FBI, that's now the second major intelligence organization of America. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Andy Knox. The second major intelligence organization of the American nation to come out and say it's distinctly probable. They haven't made an absolute claim, but you know what I mean. These people don't get dressed up for fuck all. The CIA announced 2 years ago, and then Congress was given a report last year, and the FBI have now come out this year and said, yeah, COVID came from the Wuhan laboratory. Now, I have a couple of thoughts about that. The first one is, duh. Is there anybody out there who doesn't think it came from the laboratory in Wuhan? Is there anybody watching this who thinks that COVID came from a pangolin fucking a bat? Really? You think that? You fucking retard. In fact, you're worse than a fucking retard. Because the origin story of the superhero that is COVID Man, right? The origin story of COVID is how all you fascist fucking gas chamber ushers came to be imbued with a sense of fear. Oh no, there's a disease. You all must have the vaccine. You all must be locked in your houses. You all must do whatever the World Health Organization says immediately. That stems from your belief that COVID was some sort of natural disease, and that it threatened you in some way, which wasn't related to... Let's go over the facts, shall we? For anybody who's in any doubt as to why I or other people believe that COVID came from a laboratory, let's just go over the facts. In Wuhan, there's a laboratory full of bats where they conduct research to make bat diseases infect humans. Specifically, bat coronaviruses infect humans. The woman doing the research is so famous for trying to get bat coronaviruses to infect humans, she's called Batwoman. And in Wuhan, they've been doing this for years, since their previous experiments to infect humans led to the escape of COVID or SARS-1. Does anybody remember SARS-1? That escaped in 2003 and 4 from their Bio 3 lab near Beijing. So they built a brand new laboratory. This is all public domain information. You can Google this shit. I ain't even making it up. They built a brand new laboratory with finance from America and France to conduct much safer research on how to infect humans with deadly diseases that previously only infected bats. So, if you thought that was a good idea, and you didn't think there was any danger there, then you probably also believe that a pangolin wandered into a fish market somewhere in Wuhan, humped a couple of dead bats. Although pangolins, it would be a bit of a stretch. For anybody who doesn't know, the pangolin is indigenous to Africa. So, like, you know, how a pangolin came to be wandering about Wuhan is a question for people who believe that shit, whoever you are. Who believes that shit? Who did believe that shit? I know there's lots of you. Lots of you believed. I'm sure there are biolabs everywhere. I question the sanity of humans on a regular basis. Be sure as well that there are biolabs in Russia, China, North Korea, et al. So, I'm not taking any sides here. Humans are stupid everywhere and potentially damaging to your health. So, the FBI says it was made in a lab. Over 5 million dead. Arrest somebody. Go on, fucking arrest somebody. In fact, arrest somebody and relieve me of the restrictions on expressing further interesting things about COVID that people might like to know. For instance, since it was made in a lab, how did they make it infect humans? What did they use to make it infect humans with? How dangerous is it to humans that they made this disease? That would be some interesting things to know, wouldn't it? Since it was made in a laboratory, and we know the laboratory that it was made in, wouldn't it be good to be able to access their database? That would be good, wouldn't it? It would be good to access the database of the Wuhan Institute. The only problem is, around September 2019, they shut it down and destroyed it. It's funny that, isn't it? Isn't that funny? The database of a laboratory in Wuhan conducting bat virus research and gain-of-function research for humans should completely destroy and shut down access to its entire database of research and activities on the eve of the global pandemic. Does anybody else think that's vaguely suspicious? I know the FBI and the CIA do. But hey, if, like me, you suffered years of fascist fucking abuse by your government and your neighbours and the people who wanted to usher you into the gas chamber of vaccine uptake. See, you people who took the vaccine and encouraged others to take it. Nay, not encouraged, pressured. See the people who pressured people to have the vaccine. See the governments who put restrictions on unvaccinated people and forced them to consider their options or lose their job. And see people whose family members gave them grief about not having the vaccine. Fuck you all, you nasty fuckers. You nasty, evil fuckers. How fucking dare you, on the whim of an idea. Oh, I think this might be dangerous. We should all do exactly what the people who made this shit. The World Health Organization inextricably is involved in licensing and permitting the activities of people who do gain-of-function research to make diseases infect humans. What the fuck are we up to on planet Earth, making bat diseases that infect humans? That's a question for, like, before it escapes, right? Never mind it escapes and leads to the world's biggest health crisis ever, during which tyranny flowers like a fucking petunia, like a rhododendron on the driveway of freedom, blotting out the sun and stripping people of their freedom, their liberty, and their ability to talk about it. I personally have been banned and thrown off social media more than half a dozen times just for talking about the origin of COVID and the contents of the vaccine. So, can I now go on YouTube and say, yeah, COVID was made in Wuhan? Can the FBI do that? Do you think the FBI will be getting tossed off? Not literally, but you know, what's the regulations now on my free speech? Can I say, for instance, that when they made it in the laboratory, according to Dr. Luc Montagnier, Nobel Prize-winning virologist, in January of 2020, who said, and I'm not exactly quoting, I'm remembering what he said, rest in peace, he's dead now, so we won't be able to hear what Luc Montagnier thinks anymore. But he said in 2020, January, this virus was made in a laboratory in Wuhan, where they have the expertise to do that sort of thing, and they've been doing it for years. It contains elements of malaria and HIV. And then when the vaccine came about, he said of the vaccine, this vaccine is a very bad idea. People who have it will die. And given that there's now 43% excess deaths in Germany, and over 20% in the UK, and a large number of excess deaths in every province and region of the world that had the vaccine rolled out, there are now excess non-COVID deaths. That is to say that people are dying from something, but it's not COVID, in large numbers. Now, I wonder what that could be. Am I allowed to say, it's the vaccine? There is mounting evidence that the vaccine kills people in large numbers. And when I say mounting evidence, I mean, not that anybody's going to admit it anytime soon, any more than the Chinese government or the people at Wuhan are going to come out and go, ha ha, only joking, we made it here, ha ha, only joking, yes, made in Wuhan, we got right here, want some? We got some, you want some? We got COVID right here in the test tube. No, they're not going to do that. And neither are Pfizer, Moderna, and other people going to come out and say, gee, yeah, we did. We made the vaccine from the shit. We made the vaccine from the same shit that's in the disease. It's probably not good for you. So don't hold your breath waiting for restrictions on your freedom of speech to be lifted anytime soon. Let's not rush to YouTube to denounce the vaccine, because you'll just get tossed off. But I am going on record as saying, see people who had the vaccine? I'd be shitting myself. I really would. Because what you had was an experimental cocktail of goo cooked up in a laboratory based on something they made in another laboratory to kill humans. That's what it's based on. We made a vaccine based on this thing that kills humans, and it's a bit of an experiment. We're not really sure what the effect will be. You should have it. In fact, you're going to have it. Your government's going to make you have it, and your neighbours are going to fucking throw rotten fruit at you, metaphorically, if you don't. So, welcome to the 21st century. If it ain't weird enough for you yet, wait, just hang on a second, and let's get to the Scottish First Minister elections. Hey, people of Scotland, it's the 21st century, isn't it? We've come a long way. Scotland, a place that the people of Scotland gave birth to television, the telephone, radar. The Enlightenment, in large part, sprang forth from the writings of Scottish people. And there are large numbers of Scottish people's signatures on the American Declaration of Independence, because Scottish people, for years, pursued a kind of intellectual rigour and freedom. James Clerk Maxwell, formulas for electromagnetism, a kind of a discovery of momentous size parallel to Newton's laws of motion. James Clerk Maxwell, Logie Baird, and many others, people of Scotland who have pushed forward the boundaries of knowledge and science and ingenuity for years, about to choose a new First Minister for their devolved Parliament. And the choices are currently stacking up. It's a binary choice. You can choose between a bam pot and a nut job. That's right. On the left, here we have Hamza Yousaf, a man with dual nationality, who believes that Muhammad was the last prophet of God and women should be stoned to death for adultery. His dual nationality is with a country that has the death penalty for homosexuals, the death penalty for blasphemy, and the death penalty, what else for it? Homosexuality, blasphemy, and anything else God doesn't like. In the other corner, Katie Forbes, a woman who believes God doesn't like singing and dancing at your wedding, and that if you are pregnant, you should have the baby, even if you were raped and you got it that way. She believes everybody who is born is a sinner. All the little babies in the world are sinners, according to Katie Forbes' beliefs, and that one day, Jesus will come back and we will all be raptured. These are the things the two people we're choosing to run Scotland believe. And that's like the fucking Dark Ages, man. That's like, it's not like Scotland took a step back, like we went from the 21st century to, we're just going to use Motorola chips in our mobile phones. I know, they're not multi-threading or quad-core, but, you know, the people of Scotland don't want modern things like modern beliefs, modern thoughts. We don't want evolution. We want retrograde. We want to go back to a time where the Pope made you kiss his ass just before he burned some witches and raped some children. Honestly, both of these religious institutions, Islam and the Church of Christianity, have murdered, sodomized, raped, and oppressed their way through history. And anybody who's a member of either one of the clubs, in my opinion, should be barred from public office. Just believing in divine beings outside a dimension to the ken of human beings should disbar you from driving, never mind holding public office. These people are infantile morons, in my opinion. It's not just my opinion. I think you'll find that most people who don't believe in God because believing in God makes you a fucking retard. It does. You're literally a fucking retard if you believe in God. It's akin to believing in fairies, Santa Claus, that kind of thing. These are magical beings that people believe in, and it makes them, in my word, I am deeply suspicious of and worried that any of the people who believe in this nonsense should have any power over me whatsoever, or you. And that's why I urge the membership of the SNP to turn aside from this choice of, should we go for crazy or really off the fucking really out of their tits. Like, total bampot or real nut job, moron or retard. These are the choices. Hamza or Katie, nut job, retard, moron, fuckwit. Those are your choices, people of Scotland. Moron, fuckwit, retard, moron. And I can't put it any more bluntly than that. If you let people who have some medieval fucking spiritual belief, they're not even nice spiritual beliefs. They're punishingly ugly. They really are. The gods they believe in are ugly and stupid. The gods they believe in want to punish you for not believing in them, and punish you for not believing what they say, and punish you for not behaving correctly. Really? That's who we want to rule over us? Oh my goodness me. I mean, this is not let's live in harmony with nature, Eastern philosophy we're talking about. This is fire and brimstone. Your baby's a sinner, damned to hell, Satan's spawn, unless you beg for Jesus' forgiveness or accept Muhammad as the final prophet of God with a sword to your throat. Ha 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 ha! People of Scotland, supporters of independence, by the way, I should just like to point out, in case anybody thinks I'm sort of rabid unionist, I voted for independence and campaigned for independence in the first referendum. So fuck you and your fucking, hey, let's not like independence. No, I'm all for independence. I'll tell you the kind of, just so we don't get off on the wrong foot and you understand where I'm coming from. This is the kind of free and independent Scotland I'm for living in. In my version of the independent Scotland, right? The church has no role and receives not a single fucking sou of taxpayers' money at all, ever. No church. The Muslims, the Catholics, the Christians, nobody gets a penny from the taxpayer. Fuck you all. And in fact, there are limits on what religious organizations can do. They certainly can't run schools. No sirree, Bob. No fucking Catholic schools in my Scotland. No religious schools whatsoever. What, you want to let these crazy people have access to your children? Really? You want that? Wow. Do tell. What else? Oh yeah, there's no monarchy. Scotland's a republic. That's right. There's no monarchy at all. In fact, there's everything royal will be like all aristocratic lands and royal properties will be seized by the Republic of Scotland for the people of Scotland's benefit. Yeah, what else? Tax will be based on land use, not income. So when I earn money, I fucking keep it. However, if I run a nuclear power station, I pay a lot of tax to the people of Scotland for the big fucking mess I'm making. Whereas if I live on a piece of, like, grass in a yurt, and take care of my own heating, power and sewage, I don't pay any tax because I'm not doing any damage to the land of Scotland. If you're going to have a nation, surely there are two things that make a nation. The people and the land. That's it, really, isn't it? Those are the two ingredients of nationhood. Here's a place, the land of Scotland, and here's the people, the people of Scotland. So in my version of Scotland, all of the land of Scotland belongs to all of the people of Scotland. And none of my money belongs to the government. None of it. Not a fucking penny. My income is my income and the government can go fuck itself. What else? Oh yeah, we have our own currency and it's based upon an amount of precious fucking metal buried in a bank vault somewhere. No fiat currency, no printing money, no central bank printing presses, charging me interest on the money the government borrowed. In fact, no government borrowing at all. Spending based on income. Full stop. Yeah, I know. They seem so sensible to me. People will tell you can't run a country like that. Well, yeah, you can. Surely you can. And if not, let's try and see what's the worst that could happen. What's the worst that could happen? We could live in a debtless country where people with bizarre beliefs have no influence at all whatsoever, and your children get educated by people who don't fuck them in the ass and want to burn women as witches, or want to, treat them like sinners until they accept Jesus' salvation or Muhammad's sword to the neck. That kind of world. Oh yeah, also freedom of speech. Not absolute freedom of speech. There's an implicit thing when people talk about freedom of speech. They're not actually saying, I want to be able to say, I'm going to kill you, you cunt, and stamp on your head. That's not what people who say I want freedom of speech mean. There's something implicit in saying the words, I want freedom of speech, which is not about making threats of violence. It's about saying what I think about anything. That's the country I want to live in. Hey, let me hear what you think about something. Well, I think this. Well, I think this. Wouldn't that be great? What kind of country is that? What else? The right to bear arms. Yeah, that's right. The right to bear arms. At the end of the day, and I don't just mean like, I want a shotgun. I mean like, for the protection of a person. Do you know what you can do if you're a woman and you go out late at night at the moment? Do you know what you could do to protect yourself? Nothing. Not a fucking thing. Anything you do to protect yourself at all is illegal. If you go out at night carrying an umbrella with the intention of using it to defend yourself if you're attacked, that's a crime. Are you shitting me, Deke? No, I'm not shitting you. The only thing you're legally allowed, if you're feeling vulnerable or you feel like you might need some help defending yourself, is an alarm. They used to call them rape alarms, but now they're just called alarms. So if you're feeling vulnerable, you think you might be subject to a violent assault or attack somewhere, you're allowed to have something that goes beep, 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 beep. But you're not allowed an umbrella, which you may or may not use to ward off your attacker. That would be illegal. And so that seems like wrong to me. Like me as a person, if I wish to defend myself, I'll have a fucking claymore if I want. If I feel the need to carry a claymore, just in case, I don't know, some cattle rustlers from south of the border come up, then I'm carrying a fucking claymore. And yeah, crazy people might do shit. Well, we'll have to deal with that. I am not having my liberties stripped back to the bone because crazy people might do shit. No, sirree, Bob. Crazy people might do shit is no reason to ban me from defending myself, ban me from defending my home, ban me from speaking my mind, ban me from behaving in any way whatsoever at all that doesn't cause harm or loss to another person. That's my kind of independent free Scotland. The one the SNP are talking about, where we join the European Union, run by rich aristocracy and landowners. I don't want that one, where we continue to use the pound and we have the English aristocracy and royalty still here. Fuck that version of independence, and fuck you if that's what you want. Hey, okay, thanks for tuning in. This has been the fucking news. I'm off to YouTube to get banned for saying what the FBI said. As an experiment. I'm just going to open an account, right? I'm going to open an account on YouTube and say, the FBI and CIA say it was made in Wuhan. See how long my video stays up there. I hope you're going to have fun today. I am, because today is all you've got. I'd make the most of it if I were you. See you soon.